Friends, today is Saturday, June 8, 2024. We are about to embark next week directly into the book of Leviticus. I'm going to read you one more passage from Isaiah today, Isaiah 64, verse 6. And this will kind of transition us into the main work of the summer as we begin to look at some of the great texts from the book of Leviticus. Let's listen for the word of the Lord taken from Isaiah 64. We have all become like one who is unclean, and all our righteous deeds are like a filthy cloth. We all fade like a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, take us away. We are going to confront the problem that is created by the fact that a holy God is calling us to represent his righteousness in the world, knowing that we're broken people. How do we overcome our brokenness to display his righteousness? How is that possible in the world? Isaiah puts it very graphically that we're unclean, and even our best things that we do are kind of shoddy and filthy in comparison to what they could be. This brokenness is evident in the shortness of our lives and in the fact that we're a bit like a faded leaf. We can be blown away pretty easily in our lives. This was illustrated yesterday in the dramatic temple experience of Isaiah, who suddenly felt unholy in the holy presence of God. But nevertheless, we're called. Now, few of us are called to exercise a prophetic ministry, but we might be called to be an engineer or a designer, a doctor, a farmer, a teacher. As we mentioned yesterday, those callings will be individual, related to our gifts and passions and God's particular plan for us in our own locations. But since we represent God in all those different callings, in all our different settings, the universal problem will remain that he is holy and righteous and we are not. It's God's moral commands that reveal this reality and show the gap between his righteousness and ours. So how can we do it? How can we overcome this predicament to pursue his call? Over these next 8 weeks, we're going to be looking at this in the book of Leviticus, and we're going to be seeing that God has a variety of ways he's going to overcome this. He's going to have priests who have a special role as intermediaries. He's going to have practices and rituals, and he's going to call us, despite our flaws, to come near. I wonder if you've ever thought in your life about the difference between a moral and a vocational call. These two are connected in a variety of ways. We should always be moral, whatever job we're doing, our vocational calling we're exercising. We should do that in a way that's moral. But these are two different kinds of pathways in our lives, in a sense, because our vocational calling is individual. Nobody says to someone who chooses to be a great pianist, well, you should have been a farmer. You're morally wrong for choosing to be a pianist. It's an individual choice, according to your gifts, how you're going to use your time and energy to serve God, what sense you have of your own calling in your life. And so the path you take, provided you pursue it morally, it's not a moral question. However, the moral law, the moral pathway, is one that it's not mitigated by individuality. So the moral call is for everyone, regardless of their individual differences. And this is one of the things that's very controversial in the modern world, because we tend to think of the moral law, when we think about it at all, as being overcome by our individuality. You can't put yourself in my situation. You can't know what my possibilities are or what my plans are, and all of that conditions my approach to making moral decisions. And so we kind of want to believe that we can individualize morality, but morality, to have any power, has to cut across those individual differences so that I can recommend a course of action for anyone who would be in my situation, regardless of those differences. So these moral and vocational differences are something we'll explore more as our series go on. Let's take a moment to pray. Gracious God, you are truly good and holy in all you do and say and are. Keep us mindful of the honor you give and the risk you take when you call us to serve you, and to do so in ways that reflect your goodness. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen. Thanks for being with us this week.